on the next IMHO. Hey everybody, it's Peter, and it's time for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 20, The One Who Will Save Us All, which apparently seems to be General Talbot. He's really got off the reservation. The man's also an idiot, but we'll get into that in a moment. There will be spoilers in this one. I'm just going to say this, but I will be posting it later on, so that gives everybody enough time to go catch the episode. And as always, if you're new here, don't forget, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis. So let's jump into this. If you remember last week's episode, Talbot decided to suck up all the gravitonium. He got into the Captain America pod, took up all the gravitonium, saw a test of his powers, end of the episode. Now, and then you saw too, and it was a weird shot, so it's hard to tell, but actually what he did do, he ripped up part of the floor because they were still trapped, locked down, because of, General Stoner said they had to pick one of the categories, and they picked the wrong one. Talbot takes Coulson. He rips up the floor with his gravitonium powers and punches a hole through all the floors of the lighthouse, and they floated up to the alien spaceship. They're jumped by some guards and go like, what are you doing on here? You're not supposed to be on the ships. And they get escorted to Quovas, who's in charge of things. He's one of the head Confederacy. They want to negotiate peace, see what they can do. Talbot's having none of it. Talbot's being the stupid general that he is. And he's demanding things. And, you will kneel before Zod. I mean, you will kneel before Talbot. They're about to jump him. One of the guys, like, snick, got the knives out. And he just goes like bibbity bop with his hand. Like, turns them into, in the trailer they didn't show it, though, if you saw the trailer for this episode, but they actually show the actual footage of some guy going like, and instant human pretzel. They'll decide to kneel, they take over the ship, and they go from there. Meanwhile, on the ground, trying to get everything back, because everything was on lockdown that knocked out a lot of the electronics, a lot of the older equipment. Fitz couldn't figure it out. Deke saved the day, because Deke, back in the future, he was able to fix stuff like that, so he was able to get everything up and running. Once everything was turned back on, Daisy finally chimed in saying like, hey, help, I need to come to the base. Again, in this episode too, a lot of people got stupid again. Yo-Yo is getting into it with Daisy like, oh, why did you leave us in our hour of need? And, we lost people and blah, blah, blah. And, of course, everybody's like, because Yo-Yo's like giving people shit, and everybody's like going back to Yo-Yo, hey, you killed a girl. You killed Ruby, you stupid so-and-so. Daisy and Yo-Yo got into a bit of a fight. May comes around the corner eventually, just like, are we done? That's Coulson to go save. Because I forgot to mention in the last episode, Daisy was on a secret mission. She bumped into the Candyman, aka Jake Busey. Got the centipede formula, got one of those little strips that we haven't seen like since season 1. Bill Paxton's character, John Corbett, I think it was John Corbett. I have to look it up again because it's been so long since I've seen the guy. He actually had an extra piece of the formula, which was actually the blood of Daisy's birth mom. A lot of this episode gets into morality as well, too, because there's a scene with Fitz and Mack about, sorry that we locked you in the room, blah, 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 we took off. And then Mack's like blaming Fitz because, well, if you hadn't done all that, then Yo-Yo wouldn't have killed Ruby and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how is it? And I'm like, how is it Fitz's fault that Yo-Yo killed Ruby? Yo-Yo, because, Ruby cut off Yo-Yo's arm, so Yo-Yo's doing the vengeance thing, right? How can it be Fitz's fault other than, but she volunteered to come along with the group to go to England, right? And Mack got all biblical about, there's only one true God and blah, blah, blah. And, the good book says, and he's not saying it, but that's what he's coming across with, we're morals. We have morals. We're a shield. What's going on? Fitz, you weren't like that before. Everybody's like pointing out everybody else's moralities. And Daisy talks with Simmons before they have to take off to space to go save Coulson. And she gives her the centipede case and the bag of bones, and said like, you got to figure out a way, we got to save Coulson. And again, the morality thing comes up. Is this really a good thing we should be doing? Like, this is what's going on. I can understand it. Like, you just can't willy-nilly just go do stuff, use torpedoes and hope things like that. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to save the day. You can't just go like, gee, what would Jesus do in this situation? Sometimes you got to break the rules. Needs of the may outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Meanwhile, when that's all going on, Talbot has actually got everybody under control, but he's still getting a little pompous. There's the old saying, too, about, power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely, or in this case, makes you into an idiot, because this entire episode, and I was like, literally, if I had air to pull out, I would. Talbot's such a dolt, and this is why you don't trust generals. generals are such idiots. I don't know if it's because, you know, if it's the different voices in the head because he absorbed the gravitonium, but he said, hey, I got that under control. Maybe he's just like totally lost it, and because he was giving Phil crap later on too about like, yeah, you've always been against me and whatever. He's like total paranoia now, and you all are against me, and I'm going to take over, and this is my ship. Talks Quovas into taking him to the Confederacy, saying, well, there's only so many of us, and there's only a certain time, and the moon has to be blue, and that's the only time we have a meeting. And I didn't realize this either. Talbot's incarnation now is based on an actual Marvel character called Graviton. He meets the Confederacy, says, hey, I'm the new kid in town. Somebody ousts one of the other guys. Well, he's the wisest of the six in the room, so he actually kills one of the aliens. And then a Kree shows up, and you find out later on it's actually Cassius, whatever. It's his father. He's a little bit of a conniving so-and-so too, because he basically whispers in Talbot's ear literally, and like, oh yeah, you should kill that guy, and oh, we're all on your side, and you can see this is all leading up to how the Earth got destroyed, and this is why. It's probably all this Quovas and the Kree, you know, leading Talbot astray, and he's like totally, oh yeah, and what? There's that, and then there's for everybody who wanted Infinity War. Shout out! They mentioned Thanos is right now beating up on the Earth, and you should go say, what? I should get the Avengers, and I should save the day. Then they come back down from space, and he's got his own said, well, I'm going to find more gravitonium, I'll make myself stronger, I'm going to beat up this Thanos guy, and blah blah blah. And Phil's like, what? You know, Glenn, what are you doing? Don't be an idiot. And then Talbot's like, well, you're against me too. You're all against me. And I'm like, oh, God. It's like watching Star Trek admirals being all stupid and stuff. Everybody just had their stupid pills today. Almost every other character, again, is having their stupid pills. It's just totally... Getting near the, like I said before, we're getting near the end of the season, so we're going to see what happens. Got a few more episodes in it. And then the last episode is, again, the end. We'll see if it's the end of the world, the end of the season, the end of what. We don't know. If it's going to, again, if it's going to be an Infinity War tie-in, what. That's what's really bugging me, just the whole thing with Talbot. He's just, like, listen to reason. You've worked with Phil. Phil's never really done anything wrong with you. But the man is led so easily astray. It's ridiculous. It's just like, you know, you barely know these aliens, and they're right away saying, oh, did you know, and did you know? And he's like, yeah, you're right. I should be on your side. And then we find out Hale is actually still captured in a cell, Quovas' alien ship. Phil talks with her for a little bit, and she realized that she was sorry that she messed up. She should have done something different, but she was always mad at everybody. She got overlooked. And later on, when Talbot comes back from his meeting, that now he's more in charge, and he's going to find more gravitonium, and he's going to save the world from Thanos. And Phil's just like, Glenn, is that a good idea? More gravitonium? Tries to do the old compliance thing. You will comply. You will comply to my will. You will do what I say. I will comply to my will. Yeah, I don't think so. And goes kunk, 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 kunk. And then kills Hale. Or just around that same time, too, then the Quinjet shows up, it's cloaked and flying in space. And May and Daisy show up, try to save the day, try to grab Phil. And of course, Talbot's not having none of it. You know, Daisy tries to use her quake powers. He's just like, it barely moves him because I guess he can counter with his gravitonium powers. Knocks her out and tells May, like, you know, drop the gun or else I'm going to drop Phil. You know, bends the knee. And it goes from there. We're left at that. The teaser at the end is we see the Kree guy again, and we see unconscious Daisy Johnson on the floor. So going on, lots of stupidity, lots of arguing amongst the characters. Why did you do this and why did you do that? It's just like, oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm still on this ride other than I want to tell you guys what's going on, that kind of thing, on my thoughts. But as always, too, what did you guys think? Have you been watching this? Are you still on board with S.H.I.E.L.D.? Are you liking it or you're not liking it? Leave your comments down below. Again, as always, too, did you like my video? Did you not like my video? Again, if you're new here, don't forget, subscribe, notifications. We got a new post on a weekly basis. And as always, we will see you on the next one.